Okay, Tess is fine. Everything is good. We're back to design sips. Sorry, guys, I have to mother first, and when your little one calls and she's out biking in the neighborhood, you must answer. So, okay, thanks for coming back. Hi, guys. Cheers. I am drinking a little Chardonnay today. Cheers. And as promised, we are going to talk incredible productivity, efficiency with Amber de la Garza today. So as we get connected, there you are. Hello.
Hi.
Welcome to Design Sips. How are you?
Thank you for having me. It's my pleasure.
Oh, good. Cheers. Thank you so much for being here. I think the world right now, what the world right now is a lot of things. We need love, we need a vaccine, we need equality, and we need productivity tips because life is coming at us fast and from every single angle. So thank you for being here.
Oh, it's my pleasure. And I agree we could all use a little productivity boost as we re-entry what's normal to us.
Yes, absolutely. So I'm going to give you a little introduction and then we're going to jump in. And I apologize. I had a classic working mother moment where I had to literally leave my own live show to check on my kid. But now we're back. So we'll talk about those distractions in just a moment.
Absolutely.
Perfect. So to all of you joining us, I'm Sandra Funk from House of Funk Interior Design. This is Design Sips, where we drink a little wine or whatever your drink of choice is and talk about design. And today I am thrilled to introduce to you Amber de la Garza, who is my guest on the show. Amber is a productivity specialist. She is sought after for coaching, training, speaking, writing, and the host of the Productivity Straight Talk podcast, and creator of Stop Leverage Formula, the Stop Leverage Formula. She helps build business owners improve their time management and elevate their productivity to maximize profits, reduce stress, and make time for what matters most.
Thank you for that introduction.
Thank you. So tell me, how did you become the productivity specialist?
Yeah, I mean, of course, with any good story, it's long, so I'll give you the Cliff Notes version. Prior to starting my business, my previous career was real estate, and I was in management. And part of that journey, I was a business coach, doing business strategy specifically about how to grow your team in real estate. And that was really when the seed was planted, because we had amazing strategy, we had training and know-how, but we had very successful people, my clients, come to each session saying things like, this is so great, but I'm so busy working in my business, I have no time to work on my business. And so while they were successful in wanting to grow and implement more of what they had access to, there what I believe to be a limitation in productivity skill set, time management skill set. And that's when I got really interested in studying how those skill sets can really help us amplify our success in business.
Awesome. It is such an important topic, especially as we are juggling so many things in the world right now. It's great. So I love that. And I love that you took that on. So that you started researching, it was like a whole side gig and you brought it to that real estate department and that training.
No, actually, that was when the seed was planted. And then fast forward about 6 years, I resigned from my career in real estate. I had my son 10 years ago. Went on maternity leave, vacation leave, and I was like, yeah, I'm not going back. And then I said, I'm going to start a business. I'm going to help small business owners with the skill set, with training and coaching around productivity. So that was when the seed was planted, that there's a real problem and a need. But fast forward to me really jumping into how can I fulfill that gap and provide service.
Awesome. So cool. So have you always found yourself to be naturally productive, or did that just become a research part?
You know, what's interesting is I would say I was really effective and I was very organized naturally. But it wasn't until I really studied the subject of productivity and realized that we can be organized and we can be efficient, but around the wrong things. And so as I have explored productivity with small business owners over the last 10 years, no, I didn't always have it figured out. I didn't always prioritize high value, highly revenue generating activities over the feeling of being organized. And so that really brings me to that I think that for as many people that are listening, we all have a different definition of productivity and an experience. I define productivity as investing your best time into your best activities. And what that means is that it's our responsibility to figure out how we show up best. That's our best time. And then invest it into the activities that propel us towards our goal. That is a framework that allows us to apply those principles to any goal personally, health goals, relationship goals, and really in our businesses, which is what we're talking about today.
Awesome. Yeah, so cool. I love that idea that just because you're organized or just because you're thinking you're getting it all done, is it goal orientated? I love the conversation about high value activities and clearing the decks. So cool. I can't wait to dig into more on that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Sandra, I would guess that you know very organized people that have color-coded calendars and clean desks, but still not reaching their goals, right?
Right, of course.
That's how we know that anyone is capable of being productive, no matter your personality. And I think that people need to hear that message because many people have beliefs that, well, I'm not organized, or I have the belief I'm not good at time management. And I truly believe there's a place for any of us to improve our productivity and really lean into those skill sets.
So cool. I love it. So tell me, what are some of the what are changes that designers can make in their daily routine to become more productive? Like how can we take action and really make it happen?
Yeah. So for designers specifically, your superpower is to execute on creativity. And creativity is really different. The environment is different. You can show up differently in different times of the day. And so my advice that you can show up more effectively with your creative design time is to really pull back and ask yourself, when are you best creative? So when we look at routine, you may have believed up until this point that you needed to be creative all day, every day, or only in the mornings because that's when successful people do their most important work. And I want to share that the best thing you can do is tweak your routine so that you optimize your energy levels and really lean into your creative zones in each day. I know for me, I am not doing my best and highest value activity until several cups of coffee. And I'm like a car that needs warming up. And so even as the productivity specialist, I'm not diving into my highest value activities. And for me, it's creative work too. It's creating content and trainings, and that takes a lot of mental willpower. And so really aligning that with the best times of the days allows us to show up our best and most productive.
So cool. Yeah, I've been making little changes, but I started waking up at 5 and getting kind of this idea of movement, meditation, and then learning in before anyone else in my family wakes up. And I can't say I'm there yet with an every single day program. But when I get it done, it's incredible because I have this clarity, like I'm not all day long going, oh, I should take a walk at lunch, or I should grab a class, an online workout later on today, or maybe I'll get to go hiking with the dog at the end of the workday. Like it's done. And if I get any extra, movement activity, whatever, fresh air time in, great. But otherwise, there is so much clarity that comes from having your personal list, like your personal necessities, right? Like, because no one is going to nag you to get your personal necessities done that are just for you. They're going to nag you to get their list done, right?
All their goals need to be helped. You need to help them with all their goals. I actually saw you posting about that, of starting an early morning routine. And, I love that. I would never have described myself as a morning person. However, I love the benefit of being a morning person. And for me, My morning routine is several hours. Now, it didn't start that way, but once it's go time and like my son's up and the family's going and you're into your morning routine and then work, I am go mode. And so what I need is that quiet, slow morning, few cups of coffee, taking in some inspiration, sitting on the back patio. None of that inherently has anything to do with checking things off your to-do list or even showing up in your highest value activities, except I would argue that anytime we invest in ourselves, we are showing up in one of our highest value activities so we can be better. When we're pouring into our loved ones, right? I'm just a better mom and wife if I take care of myself, but also our clients. Our clients need the best of us. And so we really need to prioritize doing whatever that looks like. And quite honestly, I just want to speak to those that think we're absurd waking up at 5 a.m. is that maybe you're investing in yourself at night. I would just say, how do you prioritize investing in yourself and not always thinking, how do I do more? But how can you slow down so that you can do more?
Right. It's so funny. I work with a coach weekly, and one of the things we talk about all the time is if I don't get that time in where I get my, for me, it's movement, meditation, and then I love the idea of this learning time. And with all that's going on in the world today, there's plenty to be expanding our minds about and keeping up on the news and all of that. So it's been really helpful to set that side of time, time aside. I should have another drink.
Got it. Cheers to that. I got you.
Cheers. Tongue twisted. Setting that time aside. And also, it's stacking, right? That little goal accomplished of mentally saying, I'm done with the stuff that I need for my soul early in the morning. When you stack that day after day after day, I also then have the mental clarity of feeling good in my own body, feeling good in my own skin. And one of the things I've always talked about with my coach is it's not just for vanity's sake. It literally clears my mind to grow and strategize and be a better mother and a better business owner and all of it. If it's one less thing that's weighing down my mental capacity, and so just having that not on my plate, like
thinking about it in the background, I need to do the thing.
Constant mental conversation that you have with yourself over something that's not feeling congruent in yourself. And so I find meditation is number one for that chit chat. It quiets that chit chat. And then that morning movement is twofold. Much of my chit chat, if I'm not feeling good about my body, is quieted by both the meditation and that movement every morning. Because even if it's not the ideal, I'm a middle-aged mother of two. Even if it's not ideal, it's my temple, right? It's my body. I'm strong. I know I'm moving. I'm good. Like there's a different feeling to that, and I think it's wildly important. So I love that from a standpoint of mental clarity for the sake of effectiveness.
One reason that we, look at being more productive is actually to reduce stress. And stress can come in a lot of forms, right? Conversations with ourselves. But when we show up in our businesses, it actually does calm the chatter and it does affirm that we are showing up our best selves in our business. And so a lot of that is helping reduce the stress. And I just love that you said, your morning routine affects you in reducing stress, and then you get to show up better in business.
Yeah, it does, because it quiets the chit chat. 100%. Okay, I'm going to give you some more of our amazing tips for designers. So with working from home being the new normal for so many of everyone, and always designers have always been a big group of people that have had home-based businesses. How can we keep our team productive virtually? What are those tips on keeping everyone moving?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the number one tip is to making sure that you're showing up as a leader in your business and meeting with your team on a regular basis. I actually break down for all small business owners that your highest value activities fall in one of four buckets, and the fourth bucket is leadership. And sometimes we can come across as like, I have this other more important thing to do. Like they just need to figure it out. Or, you know, this seems like so much time that I'm in a meeting or one-on-one. And I would really love to help flip that switch of like, actually, as you're growing your business, the highest value activity is to be of service to your team, because every time they're doing what they need to do and be productive, they're multiplying you.
Yep.
And oftentimes, us business owners can literally be the roadblock and bottleneck to the growth of our team. Either by not delegating with full communication what we need, because I mean, we all wish we could just have mind readers all around us, because that would be easier, but no one's a mind reader. And then also showing up in hard conversations of course correcting and giving feedback in real time. That all takes a time investment. And so I think that's the best thing that we can do to ensure that our team is showing up most productive, is really, really setting time aside and then showing up consistently. That is actually a hack for your own time management too, because your day can be filled with like, you know, chimes, rings, and dings of like Slack and they're in your email and your project management. But something happens when you create a cadence to meeting with your team. They, once they feel like they know you're going to show up because you've shown up in the past, right, is that they can say, can this wait? Is this something that I do need to jump in and interrupt their day too? And once they realize that you will show up on Wednesday at 4 o'clock, every Wednesday at 4 o'clock, then you've been able to now batch leading your team into these meetings and really reduce the distractions you have each day.
I love this. We use this in our business and have for many moons. And now that we're virtual, we've ramped it up. So we've always done a weekly top line meeting where we're just going through all of the really high level, but we're going through admin, HR, PR, potential clients, say them out loud, bring magnetism to them, keep them energized. And then, you know, high level where we are with each active client. With working virtually 100% of the time, we are also having, I've set aside on my calendar a daily touch base time. So every day, I think we have it set at 4 or 5 o'clock. Every day at 4 or 5 o'clock, I have a block on my calendar and they have free reign to call me and have a touch base. And I can initiate it, they can initiate it, but it's always like set aside for them. And it's that batching. It's instead of little interruptions all day, can this happen at touch base is great. And it's a great time for us all to be thinking, wrapping up today, what happened, what's working, and then setting intentions for tomorrow. It's a good little thing. And I was just saying to my team today, I feel like I'm about to become their bottleneck. And I'm like, maybe we should just have a quick touch base in the morning, the whole team, the way we do top line, but where we just say like, what are the must-dos today? Because right now, I'm in, as y'all saw earlier here in this live, I'm in full mode, mom mode. You know, I'm working from home with 2 children at home, wrapping up school in 2 days for the summer and no kids. Yeah. So it's different.
That is a big issue. That is like, that's another thing, is having compassion for your team and asking them what they need, right? Like you and I are having a conversation, business owner to business owner, on how to navigate being a mom and all these responsibilities. I think having an honest conversation and asking your team, what is it that they think that they need to navigate being their most productive selves when they're at home? The strategies that work for us are similar to our team, but they may not have access to looking for a productivity specialist or a time management specialist. They're just trying to figure it out. And so anytime you can impart, hey, I tried this and it worked, maybe you can try that, I think is really beneficial, and not just thinking, okay, I'm going to get me figured out and then them. Like, do it together.
I think that's great. And of course, checking in with your team if they also are in mom mode or caregiver in any capacity mode. You know, right now this is a time of being split and pulled in a million directions for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. So tell me, what is the most important aspect of productivity?
So I love this question. That's a big question to ask the productivity specialist. There's so many like layers to it, and I can bottle it down to this. I feel like my passion is to share with the world that each of us is uniquely will find our way uniquely to be most productive. And so if I could encourage everyone that if you are trying something because you think that's the way for you to be most productive, break the rule. So if you are consistently thinking the first thing you need to do is your design work for your clients, but you are met with a lot of resistance, come to it with a mindset of experimenting and see what it looks like to do it later in the afternoon or after hours. So the most important thing to me is that people are truly honoring who they are and figuring that out and then leaning into it. And so once you figure out your secret formula, then you ask the question of, how do I make more of that? How do I get into that zone more often? But it first takes breaking all the rules that you think are traditionally what is supposed to work for you.
Love it. So good. Yeah, so many things that need to get figured out and always updating, right? You're always iterating on this.
Yes, and that actually brings me to a point I wanted to circle back on, is that we are all in seasons. So our personal lives are in seasons, especially right now, that's more prominent, but our businesses are in seasons. They're going to be busier seasons and slower seasons. And so being open to what worked may not be working and be quick to adjusting and adapting. What tends to happen is as soon as a routine does not work, we just throw it out the window. We're like, that doesn't work for me anymore. And we go back to our default of just winging it because we always, by default think that's the best. Well, it is not the best. The best would be to say, oh, that's interesting. This doesn't feel like it's working for me. And how can I tweak it for this season of what my life needs? I think, Sandra, we can agree. Our days do not look anywhere near the same with our children at home. I was just quieting my child down before too. So when you were talking about that, it's like, hey, mom's going on an interview. This is what I need you to be focused on. Do not knock on the door unless there's a fire, right? We weren't having those conversations very often prior to this circumstance that we're in. And so now we, more than ever, when we actually talked about it in the beginning, Sandra, about how important productivity is now, I think it's more now than ever because our time is so valuable. So between being split with all of this stuff, it's like we don't have room for lollygagging around when we finally get quiet time at our desk or we finally get time to work on our client projects. It's go time. And so now more than ever, I think is a great opportunity to fine tune our productivity and time management skills.
I love it. Yeah, Amber, I was just, obviously, I started this live and then left to pick up a phone call from my daughter because she's biking around town and you got to answer when she's out with her phone on a bike. And it's so funny. So I never was a standing desk person until I was working from home. And it's so silly, but it's so true. It's that time to get back in my chair, get back, pulled back up, get settled in. Now I'm at the standing desk. I walk up, I work. What, who, what's happening? What do you need? What's going on? And it's, of course, it never ends. The minute I'm in a call like this or on any Zoom anywhere, I have two little eyeballs right outside of my office looking at me. So it's like I always joke that I'm magnetic, that they know when I'm truly busy and that's when they start looking at me. But even a little tweak like the standing desk, I walk up, I'm back to work. It somehow feels more congruent with my life right now, right?
That's awesome. When we look at also routines right now, one of the things that I've seen working for my clients is if you had a morning routine and it was all about you, sometimes it literally is not possible to do your best work during the day. Like it depends on your kid's age group and the personalities in your home and other responsibilities with your significant other. And so maybe it looks like temporarily putting, your focused design time in the morning and then doing workout together with the kids. Or it's easier to get ready and put your makeup on with the kids in the other room than it is to really sit down and focus into your work. So I would say really be creative with something that may not feel normally, something you would approach creatively and just see what's working for you to optimize any amount of time that you can have. but don't forego those things you did have reserved for your morning routine. We do need to still prioritize those.
Yeah, no, but I love that because you're right. Some of that can go in tandem with the children around a lot easier than really important focused work. And there's times when you're calculating a design fee or you're doing an important proposal where you need to focus. These are big numbers, they're real numbers, and it needs to be accurate. I think we are having a loading moment. All right, let's give us a second. All right.
Okay. Yep, we're back.
Okay, we're back. I was like, what was happening? All right, we're gonna take a sip of wine. Thanks for being back.
So I have seltzer. I'm on the West Coast. It's still the middle of my day. And I have a team meeting after this. So I thought maybe not wine yet.
Yeah, a lot of times when I'm on calls with West Coast, they're like, yeah, we can't start drinking yet. I'm like, okay, sounds like a plan. We often have more of a high-level PR marketing, dreaming, scheming strategy session right after design sips. It's not on the calendar. It's not intentional. It just happens. We get going. We get all, we get all we get all in our creative zone. It's funny when you were talking about flipping your systems according to what works best. I used to be a creative night owl. I always wanted to get everybody tucked in, husband included. He needed to be at his desk in Manhattan at 7 a.m. So he was up at 5 and doing his little hustle out the door. And so I would get everyone off to sleep at like 10 o'clock, and I'd have 2 hours from 10 until midnight, time for myself, what have you. Well, lo and behold, my man is working from home. He's not commuting anywhere, and my children are night owls, so I can't outlast them anymore. So that is when the switch to the morning routine really, because I had to go seeking that quiet alone time at a different time.
Oh my gosh, I'm so glad you shared that. I think that's going to inspire a lot of people listening right now, is that we can't get creative with that. And also that you did know that you were a night owl, so you purposely carved that out, right? I have experienced that a lot of people have a lot of a lot of negative chatter in your terminology, a lot of negative self-talk, like, no, I should be able to figure out how to do this during the day. No, like if that is your jam, now I'm going to say, how do you show up 5 days a week between 10 and midnight, or 4 days a week, like consistently on purpose?
Right.
And I think it's a gift when we find those little things out about ourselves, and not to ignore them or downplay them, and really lean into them.
Yep. Yeah, and then sometimes that quiet vanishes because I cannot stay up my 13-year-old. There's no version where I can stay later than her anymore. So
that's right.
I'm on the early program. I can definitely wake up before her.
There you go. That makes sense.
Yeah, she's in massive growth spurt land of lots of sleep, so that's good. So I love this. Tell me a little bit about how your productivity shows up in your business. Like what does that look like to someone who is running on all cylinders with productivity?
Yeah, I don't even know how to answer that question, because it's just the lens of everything that I see and experience and do. And it's really important to me that I live out any strategy or advice that I'm giving my client. And so because I come from such an integrity spot, that's a lot of accountability. Right? So like that is the benefit of this being my the way that I serve the world in productivity, is that it holds a great bar for me to show up. And my clients are my accountability partner, and they never know it. They don't know that I'm behind the scenes asking myself, so what does this feel like to navigate COVID-19 as a business owner? What do I need to hear, and what do I need to know so that I can show up my best? And then by living that out, get to lead by example and by specific strategy, because I am also a business owner that values productivity. And so that's a great kind of dance that they don't even know they're dancing with me on, is that they're a great accountability partner.
I love that. That's so great. So I am obsessed with systems and systematizing things and making things really clear, anything that's going to be repeated, really clear, so that I'm giving them the fishing pole and not handing my employees a fish, right?
Yeah.
Old adage. But so keeping all of that systems and clarity and repeatable processes clarified, because like you said, there's no mind readers out there. But because we're a business and we provide a service that we provide to clients over and over again, that is all something that we can write down and systematize. And I love that. So I am a huge lover of productivity, efficiency, systems, the whole thing. And I've had a little sneak peek at your takeaway from today, and it lit me up in such a huge way. Like, there's more I can be doing. And can you tell us a little? I just was reading through the questions and I was like, mind exploding with all the things that I could still add. Even there's more. There's just so much more. So tell me what we have for everyone today.
Yeah, absolutely. I would like to share a free mini training on Take Back Your Time. It's called Take Back Your Time mini training. Essentially, I'm sharing with you how you can reclaim 30 minutes each and every day. And, honestly, I created it pre-COVID-19, and it's more important than ever that we're so clear with where we're investing our time and ultimately in what matters most. So I would love to offer that to whomever's on here. You can grab that at theproductivityspecialist.com/take back your time.
Awesome. Again, please, everyone, go check that out, because I took a couple of swipes through the first couple questions and I was like, oh, this is good. And this is something that you need to redo every, 6 months, 3 months. What would you recommend? Because it's about getting yourself overcommitted and then getting clarity, right?
Yes, absolutely. So, I say take it as many times as you feel like you're ready for new information. Isn't it magic? Like, you've mentioned being a learner, and I'm a learner as well. Isn't it magic how you can learn something and you've got your perspective, and then you do that shift and you watch and learn and consume the same thing, and you're like, she did not say that last time. But it's because you're like open to hearing that next level. And so as many times as you need, you have access forever to it. And it's me just sharing fundamental principles of how to take back control of your time, because it is yours to own and yours to invest however you see fit.
And it's one of those assets, right, that you can't get more of, no matter how much money you have or how much power you have or how much pull you have. We all get the same amount of time. And so
we sure do. We sure do.
This is one of the most important things, is, getting really, really clear with what's important and then clearing the rest. And I think you speak it so well, and I just love your take on this exercise. So everyone, please go check that out. Can you tell us one more time where we're going for that, just so we can?
Yeah, absolutely. So you can go to theproductivityspecialist.com/take back your time.
Yes, and I know with the octopus mother stretch pull thing that's going on in my world, I need every minute I can get my hands on right now.
Yeah.
So very, very, very timely, even though, like you said, this is a principle you've been teaching for some time now.
For sure. And if I can just close out to say, have grace, not with yourself, but anyone that's listening, all of us, like, have grace with yourself. We are going through so much in our world and our country right now. And I believe that it is our job to fight for our businesses. It's the way that we show up best and serve. And we're in a fight, and it's time to have grace with ourselves and how we show up, but also encouraging ourselves to improve in time management and productivity.
Yeah, it's a hugely reflective time, a huge time for growth and learning. It started with all the online courses because we were stuck at home with COVID, and it has certainly transformed into really, talking about much bigger picture lessons in our world and our perceptions of everything. So I think even if you take back a half an hour and you put that towards mind expanding and learning and listening and being open to change, I think it is certainly time for all of that. So I love this.
I so agree. I feel like you and I could talk forever, but I do know that so many people are questioning what was normal before. And so if you find yourself questioning the hustle, the bustle, the stress of being a business owner, this is a great place to start. And I would encourage you to, if you want to just take a next free step too, is the podcast. I talk all about time management and how to be a better business owner with regards to how we show up as leaders.
Yeah, and it's so much, I love your tone because it's so much about mindset. And I love the concepts of high value activities, really thinking about goals and moving those forward, but then also being kind with yourself and having, it's not, you're not giving us a structure that's right for you and not for us. You're saying lean into your abilities and your best time and your superpowers. So
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate this. And to say that there's strategy, there's 1,000% strategy, but it always, as you probably know, starts and ends with our mindset. Like if we can't apply and show up our best to that strategy, the strategy has no hope of being successful. So it's always a perfect marriage and combination of that.
I love it. I love it. Such good stuff. All right, Sarah Ann, do we have any big questions that we need to answer? Or are we in pretty good shape?
Nope, everyone's loving all the tips you guys are giving, so thank you so much.
All right.
Oh, great. I couldn't focus on them, so I'm so glad you had somebody watching. I was like, I want to see your eyes, so I'm glad we're capturing any questions in there.
Yes. Yeah, it's helpful because sometimes there's a lot of questions, but I think everyone go download this training, and I wouldn't call it mini in any way, shape, or form. I literally think it's a life-changing shift.
Oh my gosh.
So well worth it. Thank you so much.
Thank you
I'm going to give
so
you a
much. Cheers. This has been great. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much for being here. Thank you, Amber. Have a great one.
Thanks. Bye-bye.